Okay, so this is Sears here in Norwich. Denver, in an undisclosed location out in the Catskills or somewhere. And this is David, my friend, and they are Hasidim. I see them, but I don't believe them, right? So
I don't believe them either.
okay, so we'll talk about why you're here and what you do, and your hopes and aspirations and life stories. But we only have 5 minutes. Okay. This is his car. That's where it's based Medrash. This is his homestead, and that's where he paints. He's a fine artist. And it's just, I don't even know where we are. We're like way out there. There's bears and stuff. Anyhow.
Yep.
So.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Okay. And you can just squeeze this in somewhere on top. Okay, this is my guitar. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay. So the first question is, David, who's David Sears? Who are you? It's too early in the morning to ask such questions.
That's kind of a Zen koan.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
an
Who is
artist.
David Sears? Who am I? What am I?
Okay. That's sometimes interviews start like that, but this one won't. Okay.
He's an artist, a writer, a musician, and a recluse.
Okay. You're crazy about being alone. You love it, yeah? It's like your greatest solace is to be alone, right?
I think people who strive to live a spiritual life have always
Yeah. Try to look at the camera. Yeah.
tended to turn to nature and solitude and a life of simplicity, which is conducive to the inner life and to the practices that enable us to grow spiritually. So yes.
Yeah. So that's the 2-sentence summary. So let's see. Did you ever think about moving to Israel?
Very definitely. I went to Israel for 6 or 7 weeks just before the Scud War. With that in mind.
It's the Scud War, meaning 1990, something like that.
Yeah.
Iraqi attack. Yeah.
Right. And
I sent him.
I was in Spas. She would dispatch me.
Yeah.
And what's this?
Bear crossing. Baby bear. Look out. Oh, it's like something going on there. Okay, so there was like a Scud War, and you were seriously thinking about it because it was in the middle of a war?
No, the war happened at the end of the summer, and I was there, somewhat toward the beginning of the summer. But I went to Tzvat and spent a lot of intensive time with my teacher, Rav Koenig, there.
Rabbi Elazar Koenig.
Yes.
Alav Hashem, yeah.
Yes.
He's with the leader of the Breslovers in Tzvat, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now you were really thinking about it, and did you start to actually make plans, and what stopped you really? What's
the crisis was really that my mother, Aleha Hashalom, was getting older, and I'm an only son, and I felt it was really a moral conflict.
Clearly.
To go or to stay, and in the end, I decided that I had to stay.
Okay, now it's 30 years later, 2022, Tafshin Pei Bet. Why do you? I mean, you have a lovely home, and you and your wife have children and grandchildren, and still, but does your heart still yearn for the land of Israel, or just,
Surely.
But what is that?
Surely.
But what keeps you here is mostly your family, I guess.
Primarily my family, and almost exclusively my family. But the other thing that keeps me here is that the the koyach to make aliyah at my age is not the same as it was 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So
you see, you're 71, so
that's a
may have
challenge.
assumed a simple.
That's a challenge.
Yeah.
The adjustment to
Yeah.
a new culture in life, and
Yeah,
language.
So, okay. My parents tried it
Daunting.
at age 75 because, for certain reasons.
Wow.
And for 1 year, it was the year, they were here on a pilot trip.
Yeah.
But that's my story. I don't want to get into my story so much. But basically, they were old and they had certain reasons to come because they're, have more Israeli connections.
Uh-huh.
But it's just my father just didn't make he didn't find a community. He didn't find the shul he liked. And well, for whatever reasons, I'm not exactly sure, but they just didn't find their place. So everybody has their own place. So what is Rabbi Nachman? You're a Breslover, primarily a Breslover Chassid?
Yes.
So Rabbi Nachman talks about he made tremendous Mesirat Nefesh, self-sacrifice to get to Israel. But he wasn't thinking about living there. He was just wanted to do the mitzvah. What do you think he wanted to?
Whatever Rabbi Nachman did, he had multiple reasons for, and mostly hidden ones. But when he left Eretz Yisrael to return to Ukraine and to Europe, actually he went to Lyozhna first. But when he decided that it was time to return, he said with every step I'm going to Eretz Yisrael. So this idea of going to Eretz Yisrael for him included when he was leaving Eretz Yisrael, that he was nevertheless on the great journey to Eretz Yisrael, which he describes in a kind of cosmic sense as being a journey to the ultimate goal and destiny of the Jewish people, collectively and individually. So I'm also on the road to Eretz Yisrael.
In a spiritual sense.
Even in a physical sense.
In a physical sense, meaning
we hope to someday return there.
Do any of your children or grandchildren to live there, or seriously considering it?
My oldest grandson and his wife are seriously considering it, and they're quite close to Rabbi Ephraim Koenig in Sfas, and I guess they're conferring with him about these things.
So in a certain sense, other family members can kind of do the mitzvah for the family in a certain level. I just thought about that. First of all, according to law, we're talking about whether it's a mitzvah or not. The Ramban says it is. Maimonides doesn't. But whether so Shira, this is. Do you have any what to add? What we discussed yesterday about this whole subject. Do you remember?
Yeah, well, just basically, it's our family that keeps us here. I mean, we have children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and I'm not about to go halfway around the world.
Yeah, when people are older, it's a little harder, also, I guess.
But this is the most precious thing to us. It's our family who we love so deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah, family first.
I don't think it would be so hard for me. I don't mind. I don't mind change, but again, it's family.
Yeah. Okay.
Family,
Also, husband
that's
and wife have to agree on this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other thing I was thinking about is
If it wasn't for the grandchildren and the great grandchildren, I'm sure we would have been packed up in there long ago.
Okay.
But
Which we understood 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Or more. That this was the window of opportunity before the family got much bigger, and that if we were going to go, this was really the opportune moment. But
and
that
David's
didn't work
mother
out.
was she was not well, and you don't leave your parents.
Okay, you have definite reasons. Clearly,
Yeah.
just
That's it.
You got to be kind of like totally nuts about Israel to like leave everything. It's kind of like the Chassid. Just reminded me the Chassidish thing about leaving your family to go be with the Rebbe. Like Rebbe Steinsaltz, Lava Shalom, used to talk about that. He said that when you taught the mitzvah of Avat Yisrael, Avat Hashem or something like that. So in the Nitiv Mitzvotecha, there's a saying that to actually to just abandon your family to go learn Torah and be with your Rebbe is a level of love that's love has no reason to it. It's just it's something that of course that the opponents to Hasidism were vociferously against, and for clearly it's like, what about your families? So that's it.
I asked this question to my teacher Rav Koenig that same summer when I was in Eretz Yisrael and spent so much time with him, and I told him that I'm capable of dropping everything and doing something radical and making Aliyah, that I could do that, but I didn't know if it was right. And he looked at me and he nodded his head and he said, "Nicht poshet."
Nicht poshet.
Not simple.
So that's it. Nicht poshet. We have two wonderful friends of mine here, that made a pilgrimage to be with their place out in the middle of nowhere in your dream house. That you've carved a real life out for yourself.
Pilgrimage to nature.
So you've made your little Jerusalem right here in somewhere in the middle of upstate New York. That not sure exactly where. But you found a good place. It was like a dream to be.
We're now in the village of Fleischmann's.
Would you give a little Fleischmann's? Want to say a bracha about Fleischmann's and give a bracha to us before we finish?
It's a Fleischmann's is a tiny little village or hamlet, and it has a Hasidic summer community here, and not exclusively Hasidic but dominantly Hasidic, and that's where we are right now. They're here for maybe another 3 weeks till Labor Day, and that was one of the reasons we moved here, so I would be able to have access to Minyan and such things. But since the COVID hit, I've been afraid to be in social groups, so I haven't taken advantage of it this summer. Anyway, Betzalel,
yes,
thank you for coming, and we wish you a safe trip in all of your journeys, your Mendes Mausos, culminating in Eretz Yisrael, reaching that great goal that we all cherish so much, and Chazak ve'amatz, and you should continue to go Michael el Chayil.
Michael el Chayil? Michael el Chayil. I had an old man shout at me about that.
Okay, don't shout at me about that.
I was just thinking. I wasn't really.
And he and everything should be good for you. Begashmius, beruchnius, and you spoke about looking for another wife after the sad loss of your Rebbitzin.
Okay.
And should be begada matzah isha matzah toiv. You should find good, true good, and with health and wealth and simcha, continue to live a good and productive life.
And bless me to never shout.
Safe trip.
Even in jest.
120 Euro.
Never stream. Okay, be well.
Be well.
Well,
Okay.
the bus won't be here
good.
for another 10 minutes or so. You might as well just stay here.
Okay, this is Betzalel
bus
Edwards
stops here?
Gallus signing off.